Welcome to Better Life, Better Business with local business coach and time management expert Christoph Nauer of Balance 6. I'm Rebecca Troxel, your host, founder and CEO of Rebecca's Vault. Christoph, I have to admit, when I saw the title for your vodcast today, I was intrigued how productivity and happiness are connected. What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Rebecca. So, happy people are usually optimistic. At least, I gotta say, I've never met a happy person who was a pessimist.
True.
So, let's start with a possible definition of optimism. Okay? So, optimistic people are generally having a positive and constructive approach to life. They usually are happy, content, and full of energy.
Okay.
Optimistic people usually are constructive and effective with their time. That's been my experience. They
Mhm.
get the tools that they need to be successful. If they don't have them, they find them. They're always looking for ways to improve. Who can I help? Who can help me? What do I need to do to become better? And they have laser sharp focus.
Okay.
What unwavering focus does, it leads to action. And as most listeners who have heard me talk before know, taking action changes things. And action is needed to achieve your goals,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So, and in order to take massive action, you need to be organized. The
True.
more organized you are with time, the more action you take, the more you get done.
Hmm.
So, to all those perfectionists out there, I'm included, focus on task completion, not perfection, because that's what leads to goal achievement ultimately.
So I'll admit I'm a bit of a perfectionist. When you and I actually first started working together, I remember this being very difficult for me. I wanted the task to be completed in what I called in my mind properly. However, there were times that I ended up worrying about things that didn't matter about whether or not they were perfect. And in reality, nobody noticed it besides me. I also remember thinking how busy I was all day. If I'm busy all day, clearly that means I'm getting a lot done. So what's the problem?
Well, lots of people are busy. Most people are busy all day long, but a lot of them accomplish little.
Hmm.
They're busy, but not productive. Those are two different things. They're
Okay.
like a hamster on a wheel, constantly running, and at some point they may fall off.
Okay.
Um, that means they're unhappy with their performance. They get frustrated, disappointment, and all those negative thoughts, those emotions that you feel when you don't get your stuff done.
Hmm.
This can also lead to negative self talk. What happens also that I see quite often is that these folks work on low value tasks. They don't, do what I've been saying all over this time, all the time is eating that frog.
Yep.
Instead, they do this stuff that's less complex and less challenging and less difficult. So, as a consequence, the critically important tasks are left undone.
Gotcha.
Undone tasks would then lead to, again, reiterate that frustration and that sense of, not, I wouldn't say failure, but the sense of unhappiness, would be disappointment. Because those undone tasks would make such a huge difference in the business if they actually get done.
True.
So that's kind of like what we talked about last week, the idea of the 80-20 rule.
Right.
When you focus on the 20% of vital, that then leads to the 80% in results. Productive, happy people are different. They do not procrastinate on high value tasks. They complete them first, even if it's a hard thing to do, even if it's a complex task, because they know the payoff is much, much better.
True. It sounds much more constructive to be a productive person versus a perfectionist. I know that at this point in my life, I may not always feel like I get 100% of the things done on my to do list every single day, But I feel much more content and optimistic than when I first started working with you. Knowing all this now, I wonder why more people aren't optimists. In fact, most pessimists will say it's just not in them to be an optimist, like they were born that way or something.
Well, that's not true. We are not born an optimist or we're not born a pessimist. The fact is, optimism is a learned trait,
Mhm.
just like time management. It's
Right.
something that we can actually learn. However, it takes effort, concentration, and discipline. But by adopting the quality of an optimist, we will increase our productivity and positivity, which is ultimately, I think it's a win-win. It's worth the effort to do that. In order to become an optimist, we have to learn to think like one.
Yep.
Okay. So let's try to eliminate negativity from our life as much as possible. I know that's challenging, especially since the news, they always focus on negative stuff. That's one of
Right.
the reasons why I don't watch the news. Surround yourself with positive people and avoid exposure to negative people as much as you possibly can.
Now, that sounds like a great idea, but maybe rather easier said than done. But like you say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So, what's an easy way for everyone to get on the path of optimism?
I think there are four behaviors of optimistic people.
Okay.
One, they think and talk about their goals. They think and talk about what they want and how to get it. And they don't make excuses. They just get laser sharp. It goes back to a previous topic we talked about, clarity.
Okay.
Two, they look for the good in every person. The whole idea of the law of attraction, what you focus on, you get attract more back into your life. So in order to practice positivity, we need to focus and count our blessings, not our curses. We need to look for the good in every person, in every situation. Learn from our mistakes and setbacks. We all have problems. It's how we face them and how we deal with them that sets us apart.
Sure.
We need to see an opportunity in every failure and learn a valuable lesson from that every time there's a setback, instead of blaming somebody or something for the setback. All the successful people in the world, I mean, Steve Jobs, Ford, I mean, they all failed a gazillion times,
True.
but they didn't give up. They learned from it and improved, and that's how they eventually got to where they ended up going. Third, you need to feed your mind with positive material. A fantastic book in this regard is called The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Peale. It's a
Absolutely.
fantastic book. And in his book, he actually has some concrete suggestions at the end of every chapter what to focus on. Always expect the best, expect success, and keep trying new things. If something doesn't work, repeating it is not going to change things.
Nope.
I think that's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the
Yes,
same
it
thing
is.
over and over again and expecting different results. Last but not least, reap the power of rewards.
Hmm.
Optimists understand this. That's why they are productive and positive. So create a reward system. Give yourself rewards. Rewards motivate people, and motivation leads to action. Action changes things, and you get things done. So, for instance, if I do this 5 times, I get yada, yada, yada.
Right.
If I do this, if I finish these 5 big challenging tasks, eat these 5 frogs, I get to play 2 hours of my favorite video game, or whatever
Woo!
it is. Okay, each person has their own little reward that they can set up for. So once you set up your reward structure, link, your basically what happens is you develop a new habit, and your
Right.
subconscious mind actually wants that reward. And as we know, 95% of everything we do is driven by the subconscious mind. So we want the subconscious mind to really want that reward and desire it. So that way it drives us to take action because we do want that reward. It's like with a dog. You want to teach a dog a trick, you reward them with a treat afterwards.
Right.
It works for adults and humans too.
Absolutely.
So here again, I'd like to quote my mentor, Brian Tracy. He says, "You are internally impelled or motivated to engage in the habit because your subconscious mind wants the reward." Okay, so that's it. So if your subconscious mind desires and really wants that reward, that leads to motivation. And eventually that's what we want is this to become a habit.
Absolutely. What a really positive way to end this week. I hope you are all as excited as I am to be productive and put this advice into action. If you or if you know someone who could use some guidance executing these helpful steps to being more productive, make sure you take advantage of the offer Christoph provides his audience, a complimentary business breakthrough session. During this session, you will learn how he can help you double your productivity, profits, and time off. All you have to do is go to balance6.biz to sign up for a time that works for you. I'm so glad you joined us this week. Until next time, use these tips to get closer to happiness and having a better life and better business.
This week's episode of Better Life, Better Business is brought to you by CA&C Video Productions. Since 1985, CA&C Video has been providing live streaming, event production, and analog to digital transfer services. They capture those life-changing moments, preserving your history for current and future generations. Because your history matters. Visit their website at cacvideo.com. Thank you so much for your sponsorship.
That's all for now. Thanks for listening to another episode of Better Life, Better Business with business and time management coach Christoph Nauer with Balance 6, the leading business and time management company in Northern California. Visit them at balance6.biz.